Welcome to the Cork and Benny show. I'm going to introduce this podcast for a second time. You're still not going to get away with this. I'm going to get you back. No, I don't.
You shook.
I don't know, am I? I don't know how I feel. But on today's podcast,
part 2 of our, it's kind of like our warning series.
Oh, right, okay.
It's like a mini series within our season.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's the warning,
Good.
and we're warning about attitudes. We're warning about sunshine. And we're warning about transport. It's like the warning. But it's all positive vibes and positive attitude towards all those topics.
So on today's podcast, we're just going to read out the weather forecast for you. So Friday is looking sunny with a touch of clouds, and but I wanted to talk. Like I did actually bring this subject up
because
kind of your
topic.
It's coming. It's coming. It's around the corner.
Global warming. They don't call it global warming anymore, do they? According to Ernest.
Don't.
Climate change.
Don't.
Conspiracy theories and the reptiles.
I'm actually not even
Do you believe in climate change? No. So randomly, actually, we were having a chat about on the weekend with people, but like there was like someone was mentioning like they were at an Easter wedding, and then the famous September wedding, but like the guest got burned to hell.
Well, we were at. Remember we had
we were
Easter
at, but they were saying
everyone got burned.
People were telling the story of.
But yeah, because I wanted to talk about summer because it literally is around the corner. As in, like, we've got 3 weddings next week, and 2 out of the 3 are non-religious weddings, and they are both going for outdoor ceremonies. So we're there. It's happening. Okay. It's coming around. So I mean, for all the summer couples out there, like literally from May all the way through, kind of actually sometimes into like the end of September. Like this goes for all of you. Like this, because the weather can last a short period.
There are no more seasons.
There are. Summer, we're going to talk about it as a season. Because I'm like, May is summer. Because I'm one of those people that May starts in summer, not June. Yeah. But you could also, but August, September, we get good weather.
In Ireland.
In Ireland.
It's mildly good.
It's mildly good with a 50% chance of rain.
But that's it. So briefly to address the rain, which we won't go on about, it's like, like in general, in Ireland, 365 days a year, it's 50-50 whether it's going to rain on a random day.
Chances are it won't rain all day.
And that's what I'm saying. So no matter what, like in terms of weddings, you probably endlessly hear they're saying this, you'll get a break in the weather, you'll make it work, so don't stress about it because
and it's easier in summer.
Rain.
Because if it rains in the afternoon, it's fine. It's still daytime at 11 o'clock at night if I need to go out with you. Yeah. And like it's so bright for so long, like we're really, really lucky with it. But yeah, no, so there's a few things I wanted to talk about. And like I get really excited for summer weddings because my mind starts going to outdoor ceremonies and ice cream vans and tea and coffee vans and outdoor drinks receptions with cold drinks and guests with sunglasses on and outdoor entertainment and people getting burnt and sweating through their clothes, and it's all great fun. But everyone just seems to be in mighty form. Like the sun comes out, especially in Ireland, because we don't get to see those like long sunny days for much of the year. The mood is just like, it's right up there, and everyone just seems to be having the crack. They're really, really enjoying it. So we wanted to, not warnings, I hate we use the word warning.
No, it is warning. No. The reason why,
Tips?
it is
Tips?
warnings.
Okay.
No, because like you mentioned, there is a trend now to go to hotel weddings or venue weddings, and then also go to outdoor weddings as an option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So therefore, it is a warning, and I know people don't think about it to an extent because we don't, like Irish people don't plan for a sunny day in terms of a really, really sunny day. Like in terms of it being amazing, we've all been sunburnt, and when it's an outdoor ceremony, so the guests could be sitting outside 15 to 30 minutes before the ceremony was due to start.
Yeah, and I find they even arrive earlier because the weather's good, so if there's a bar available, they'll
We're just
go
a
to the
bit
bar,
excited,
they'll get a drink, they'll go outside, they'll have a drink before the ceremony, then they'll sit down in the sun. And it could be non-shade, full, direct sunshine. And if you were in a different situation, say if you went to a restaurant or something, you want to sit outside, chances are you'd find a bit of shade because I'm going to be here for the next 2 hours, probably shouldn't sit in the sun for that long. There's people that love the sun, but the majority of us, like the red-headed freckles of the world, need to go and hide from it a bit.
But if you've got 100 plus, you're going to have a range of people. Some people won't be able to deal with the sun. So you could be sitting in direct sunlight for before the ceremony, throughout the ceremony, and then the easy thing to do is continue out in the sun, have a drink, and so on. You're chatting to everybody now because everybody's after the ceremony, they're buzzing around, and you're in the sun a long time. So we've seen people hit the floor, we've seen people look pretty red in the speeches.
Like, it's the funniest thing. So, like, I know I mentioned about sunglasses before, and like a lot of people, like, to be fair, if you're sitting in direct sunlight, like, I'm the type of person, if I sit in direct light, I will get a headache, so I will put on sunglasses. I wear sunglasses overcast day because it just suits me better. So a lot of people will put on the sunglasses in the ceremony. The amount of days where you're like, by the evening time comes around and the light starts to dip and you can start to see the skin tone a little bit better, and then you realise there's actually like outlines of sunglasses and then the stem of the glasses along here, and you're kind of, and I'm not just talking with the guests, I'm talking with the bridal party. But it's like, it's such a typical Irish thing, and like it's like we can only play the wear sun lotion song. What's that?
yeah. It's like if there's one bit of advice
in the world I can give you, it's to wear sun lotion. But but like, I know it sounds really obvious, but just throw on a bit of sun lotion. I know a lot of the girls have SPF in the makeup, but still put on a bit of sun lotion.
And that was one thing I was going to say. So like, lads, grand, if you think of sun lotion, put it on, because again, we're devils for not bothering to put on sun lotion.
A lot of the lads, they wouldn't be have a whole lot of hair. You've got the bald heads going on. Jesus, they'd be wrecked.
The aging grooms.
No, don't mean that way. Some people actually just choose to be bearded and balded. True.
And then, but the other thing, so makeup, so I've often heard this kind of conversation of where we knew it was like, say it was a belter of a week.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know what the technical term is or what the makeup
Go on, try.
But there are certain makeup artists that would basically, like, they're like skin care specialists, like, and they're all over it, like, in terms of like kind of pre-treatment and then putting on like certain lotions or whatever it is, and then getting into the colour. And then, shall we say, there's girls that are all like, pow, and they're colour focused.
Pow!
Pow! They're all about there's certain makeup artists that are like, and then there are other ones that are a bit more technical.
So what you're trying to say is that if there is a couple of nice weeks before the wedding and everyone goes out in the sun, like, the obvious one is to not get sunburned so you end up with tan lines. And I'm not just talking about your face, I'm talking about your body, because your dress probably won't have the same tan lines as the crop top you were wearing earlier that week. The other thing is that if you're out in the sun and you're not wearing proper full factor SPF, the pigments in your skin are going to start to like especially freckly people. It's not that, like, the freckles on my face get darker in the summer, and it's not because of not that I'm not wearing SPF, it's actually the light, the brightness brings them up, kind of thing. So like, your skin tone will change, but then the actual, like, Rudan was always good for saying, like, the makeup's only as good as the palette or the surface that you're working with. So if your skin is dehydrated and, a little bit traumatized from the sun a couple of weeks beforehand, like, your makeup trial, like, was probably amazing, and then a few weeks later, because you spent too much time in the sun,
because it was glorious week.
Exactly, it might not be that much. Now, I'm not saying don't go out and enjoy the sun, I'm just saying, consider, if you're going to be out, cover yourself in full factor. You don't need to sit in direct sunlight all day. Get into the shade. If this is something that's important to you on your wedding day, you might also want to just show up and be like completely and utterly tanned, leathery.
But
it makes a difference.
SPF that's in some sun lotions now.
All sun lotion has SPF, love, but what you're thinking of is primers and foundation.
No, but then the cream. So, for instance, like, I was advised to put on my lips, like, a little balm.
Yeah.
But it has SPF in it, is it?
Yeah.
There we go, lads. And
he hasn't a clue. You're hilarious.
What's going on?
Absolutely.
But this is it. But some lads just don't shrug shoulders. They don't use product. You'd be lucky to get a bit of moisturiser. I might put it on 20 times a year when it's kind of like, come here and I get your forehead, bump.
Well, I go upstairs and like the expensive moisturiser's got a big dip in it, and it's probably 4 weeks worth of moisturiser. He's just throwing on his face, it's not even sinking in.
I was chafing. I needed a bit of lubricant. Okay.
Moving on.
Look after your skin. Water is important for your skin. Also, be hydrated. But on the other thing,
all jokes aside, though, like, I say, always drink water on a wedding day, but in the summer, you can't taste, lads. It's it's an awful feeling. You've looked forward to the day for so long, and then if you don't drink, because everyone's flowing with the champagne, the prosecco, and the whiskey, and the pints, and whatever else is going on.
You're going to go into the alcohol from 3 or 4 o'clock onwards.
But get the water into you, and just have water bottles around. Like, and even like really nice things we've seen people do is like they've actually bothered to get like a little bottle of water for each guest and left it on a chair. so that there's a little bottle of water for everybody that's sitting outside in full sunshine, or these little bags that they'd have at the back of the ceremony if you're moving from place to place that has like a little bottle of water in it, and do you know, like little like summary touches, so that for the people that just didn't think. And like most people don't think. You literally, you go, you buy an outfit, you get up that morning, you walk out the door, next thing you're sitting outside and you're like, I'm actually getting sunburned here. And I'm feeling a bit dehydrated.
And it's grand if you think of it and if it suits the situation that you do something like that. But then the flip side of that is if you're in a hotel, I mean, you were going on about some hotel, like it was just one of those epic days and they were like, do you know what? We need like face towels and ice buckets or something, wasn't it?
The Maryborough were doing it. They had this like little station in the garden. It was like, I was like, lads, talk about stepping it up here now. They had like a little station. It had loads of sun lotion for people that didn't think of putting it on earlier that day.
Cool.
And they also had like cold, like damp or wet face cloths for like people that were just feeling a bit warm to cool themselves down. I was like, look at this now. They're stepping it up here. But like, it was a really nice thing. You don't have to do it for like in terms of, we're talking about somewhere like, you're not going to see that at every single hotel every time because it's not needed in Ireland. But it was just one of those days whereby this was serious hot weather, and they were kind of like, let's do the extra bit. And it's going to be in aware the week of, or in the 3 or 4 day window of this like epic kind of heat wave. That little things like that not
make a
everywhere
difference.
has aircon.
Yes, and that's the other thing is, so we've been in hotels. Irish hotels are not built for aircon, like the big banqueting rooms.
A lot of them do, and like you know, and then you ring me and be like, where are you now? And I'm like, I'm just in the banqueting room for 5 minutes, standing under the aircon. I'll be a couple. I'm dying here. I'll be back in a second. But no, like, and it's kind of, and we've had days as well. Like, so if you're planning to have not an outdoor ceremony, but a ceremony in, say, this big glass conservatory. Okay. And say the weather gets, because we have had these days where we have had people fainting because we've literally been in an oven, like a glass
box.
Like
a sauna,
and like they didn't have aircon, they didn't have fans, they didn't have windows that could be opened, like literally an oven. So like if it like, and it's kind of a case of like you have to think of your guests. So if it's going to be a really short ceremony, they're going to be in there for a short amount of time. Grand, you can't be late for your own wedding ceremony. Like it's like, you know, for you sitting there yourself. But then everyone's going to be melting. The lads are going to be sweating. The makeup's going to be running off people's faces. So if you've like a conservatory in mind, you're like, oh, it's a glorious day. If it gets too hot in there, move it to some other location, in the hotel, anywhere. Don't do it to people. It's not nice.
And it's kind of the only day that you know that this is a freak day in Ireland. We're talking about the extreme situation.
Yeah, like 2018, we had that summer where I almost died. Like I think there was the amount of days you're just carrying the equipment, and I was dehydrated all day long, gallons of water because of the amount of sweating we were doing. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, even the churches were getting too hot that summer. It was crazy. Yeah.
To the point of, got down here, umbrellas and then video cameras overheating. I think there was some video man, he had a little umbrella for his video camera. Because video cameras are, they can overheat and it's tough going on the video cameras. Particularly
so again, if you're in a conservatory,
in direct sunlight,
or if you're in a hot box
and
you're running equipment for too long, like if the equipment goes, no, I'm sorry, I can't, like it's too hot. There's nothing the videographer can do about that. Like, and they obviously you've got backups and stuff, but still,
And actually, I think about the umbrellas. So, if for whatever reason all your guests end up with umbrellas in the ceremony, right? Okay, maybe.
Well, let's tell the story. So
I'm not talking about that one. But what I'm thinking of is because it doesn't matter if the situation was that you need to put umbrellas up. It must be full on, and that's okay. But maybe take them down for the exit. In the last one, we were kind of like saying no resting bitch faces in the background.
There was no faces. There was no faces.
No.
They were all hidden under umbrellas.
There's a couple of key moments in throughout the day where the guests are kind of caught in the background and it's entering and exiting the ceremony. So it's like, maybe take down the umbrella. If you've had the ceremony up because it's so hot and you're kind of sheltering, maybe whip the umbrella down on the exit. There's a plan.
And you know, like any other colour than black as well would work for umbrellas. We had a wedding once and it was just so hot, and it was a case of it wasn't fair on the guests they had to give them shade. Like it was safe to give them shade. Sure, all the umbrellas they had were black. It was hilarious.
No, fairness, the bride and groom laughed at it.
Oh no, they did, because they knew that like the guests needed shade, so like it was fair enough.
But it was a freak
situation. But it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
The hotel dealt with it
They did.
and kind of found a solution. and that's okay.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So what other summer warnings do we need to give? What about kind of like
Well, can we like, so that's your warnings. Can we go over to like the fun
positivity
parts of the summer?
Come on,
like
so, yeah.
So like, you know, what I'm looking forward to is, you know, when you come out to the ceremony and everyone does kind of like, not everyone, but a lot of people do the receiving line, and then everyone's kind of just like mingling outside the church or the ceremony space, and the ice cream vans are back. It's so low, and everyone's like, it's like they might have seen it before, but you've forgotten it exists, or you've never seen it at a wedding. And people are so funny. Like, the kids are getting thrown out of the way because the adults are queuing up for their ice cream. Or they do tea and coffee vans. So like people can grab kind of like a cold drink or little cakes and bits and pieces, and it kind of becomes like you're creating almost like a second drinks reception.
It's like a mini drinks
reception. It is, yeah. It's really, really nice. So then everyone's kind of like outside in the sunshine, ice cream, cooling them down, bit of sugar, happy out. I miss those in the winter. I actually really like it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like everyone's kind of just like in good form, and it takes a sense away of some days you kind of feel like we must get on to the next part and what are we doing next, and you do need to have a schedule and you do need to kind of stick to it, but when you're doing this and you kind of like you include it in the schedule that you're just going to chill with an ice cream outside the ceremony. I absolutely love that. And then outdoor drinks receptions, like they're my favourite thing. They really are. Everyone just kind of outside. The musicians have been moved outside. Everyone's kind of having a dance and a drink, and the kids are going mental. It's great crack.
I'm going to call them out. I'm going to call them out. Right? So the musicians goes, sure, I set up inside. Everybody's outside. Go, sure, come on outside. Come on.
Yeah.
You know you want to. Bring the musician outside, because so many musicians do go outside.
They do.
And it is tough in direct sunlight for a while, but at the same time, you can find a bit of shade.
An umbrella. Like they'd set, like a lot of venues have like outdoor seating with umbrellas. You can just put an umbrella up over you. Be grand. And then you got the outdoor speeches start in
That's
in
actually
around
randomly
the
started as well, hasn't it?
That'll come as well now when the drinks receptions when we're outside kind of thing.
Okay.
And that is the nicest thing when everyone's just kind of like outside, they're nice and warm, and they're kind of chilling, and they're having a drink, and they're doing the speeches, and everyone's just really cool and calm about things. It's really, really nice. And then the other thing is I'm going to revert back around to like a half warning, like a semi-circle of a warning, like a little one. So we get requests for things like, you know, like people see something on Instagram, like, oh, can we do that? And you're like, yeah, that's great fun. Let's do that. When it's the longest day of the year, in June, okay? So the sun doesn't set until after 10 o'clock at night. The bands are getting going between 9:30 and 10 on a day that everything's gone on time. If you ask me to do a sparkler photograph, it will be in daylight. I cannot mimic. So sparklers work really, really well, kind of like autumn, winter, early spring. When you get into the summer months, it just doesn't work as well. And if you're going to put the time into doing them, now maybe you just want to go outside and hold a sparkler and have a bit of crack, and it's like dusk, you're not bothered kind of thing, and it'll look a little bit different to the sparkler photos you will have seen kind of on people's portfolios and social media and stuff. That's grand, do it for the crack. But if you're expecting that dark, sparklers are glowing type of photos, when it comes to June, it's not worth doing.
Well, I have a solution.
What is your solution?
Just fire your photo. You get your wedding photo, right? Any random photo now at this stage, and just fire it at the AI, right? And say, I want this photo with sparklers. Make it look like it's dark in winter, type stuff. And the AI will do it, because the AI is already winning the photo competition for it.
So funny. But I actually love the way that guy was like, I put it in just to see. Like, would you be able to cop that AI did this?
So you know the way the Google car is coming that I'm talking about for probably about 20 years now. I'm still waiting for
good luck with that.
Soon there's going to be a Google wedding photographer. The AI robot's going to come in, right?
AI wedding photographer.
He's going to tell the priest, get out of the way, I'm taking a photo. and then the AI is going to take the picture.
How would that work then with the previous podcast you just threw at me when you're talking about, like, you know, the joy and the happiness and the...
the robot,
I don't know if the robot will get it. Will they get it?
Well, I don't know. The AI is pretty intelligent now. I think they'll learn personality traits pretty quickly.
Okay, so how do we go from talking about summer to AI photographers?
If your photographer doesn't deliver a photograph that you really, really want, just put it in the AI. I'm going to put us all out of business.
It won't be any good. It won't be natural or authentic.
That's it.
No, it won't be. But I just kind of wanted to throw it out there. Summer's coming. Enjoy it. It's my favourite time of the year for weddings, obviously. But yeah, and when you're talking about like photo shoot locations as well, guys, if you're kind of somebody that There's some people in the world that are just extremely squinty people. Like it could be shaded day, but it's a bright day.
Yeah.
And they're just like...
It's more of a glare thing with their eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you know that you're that person that blinks a lot, or you're just very sensitive to light, and you want to go to the beach on your wedding day for your photo shoot, and the sun is high in the sky, like the beach is the one place where I can't find you shade. Yeah, I can't find you shade. And there's ways around it, but I just don't want you suffering that you're like, oh my god, my eyes are killing me because I'm really sensitive to light kind of thing.
So help yourself.
Yeah,
if you have an extreme sensitivity to something, whatever it is, help yourself.
And speaking of the beach, and we'll get away from it, so if you ask to go to the beach in the summer, right, it's lovely. So if you get those really warm days that we're talking about, every other Irish person, what do they do on a good day? Oh, they pack the car with the picnic and the sun lotion and the swimming togs, and they bring the kids with the chairs and the picnics, and they set up camp for the day on the beach. Like there are some beaches around Ireland, and it's swamped. So and I've had the funniest wedding photos, and there's just these like white Irish men with the bellies out walking around in the background, or chasing our dogs, running around the place free because they're out swimming and running at us. So if you're thinking of those like empty beach photos, if it's a really hot day and you're like, it's going to be full of all the other Irish people that are enjoying the hot day. If you're not bothered about it, now you find angles. You make it work. But just don't expect to arrive to an empty space with no audience. It's going to be full of people. On the flip side is there are lovely quiet beaches, nothing. There are. We know some gems that are people don't really. They're actually not very safe for swimming or for kids. So you kind of
depends on location of where your venue is and so on.
Exactly. So if you say to a photographer, I was thinking of going to this beach, and they say, okay, how would I suggest something to you? If we drive 5 minutes down the road, there won't be 400 people on the beach. There'll only be a couple of people walking their dogs. What do you think? Listen to them. There's a reason they're doing it.
Cool.
There you go.
Cool. Right, we're bailing out of this conversation.
We're bailing out.
You happy out?
Well, I'm still getting over what happened earlier, but for those people that didn't listen to the podcast before this, you'll understand what I mean. You have to go back and listen to that as well.
Oh, that's terrible now. You're trying to get your numbers up.
No. There's at least 4 people listening to these, so I'm happy with that. My mom, your mom, the guy we met in the cinema the last day, and the couple we talked to last night.